Bill,
Um,
you look like you have another question.
well, I have a lot. That's why I brought you on. That's why I invited you to the call, because this is an area, people ask all the time, how do I prepare to buy property as an investor, right? We have people on the call who have jobs, have money saved, are looking at buying a property, or buying a multifamily. But the last thing we do is work all that hard, get a property, make money on it, and then lose control of it if you're, disabled, or if you pass, not be able to pass it on to your family. So explain, how does this protect somebody who's investing property now for the long run? What does this do for them?
Okay, that's a good question. So first of all, you're touching on something really important, which is the title of assets, how assets are held. So this is where we talk about funding your trust. So it's not just important to set up a living trust, and which, by the way, is revocable and amendable at any time. But what you want to make sure that you're doing is putting the assets where you're going to retitle them into the name of your trust. So when you buy property, you've got to make sure that the deed aligns with the name of your trust. Otherwise, what happens is, if something happens to you, it's, again, a very long, lengthy process in court to get that property into your trust. And it's a lot of money, it's a lot of time, and it's a lot of hassle. So
I literally have a client who was one of the most successful real estate investors I know, with a lot of properties. He had severe health decline to where he needed a conservatorship appointed, which meant that every transaction had to be approved by the court. Then they set up a trust at the end of a bunch of money being spent to move in the remaining property into the trust, what was left after they disposed of a chunk of it. And they left out one and had to do a probate. So I'm going to have one customer who had conservatorship property sold, trust property sold, and probate property sold. So he's paying attorneys all along the way to set these assets. So that's what you would avoid in this process, right?
right. And sometimes people don't want to spend the money to do a trust. Their beneficiaries and loved ones are going to spend a lot more, if you don't do this upfront.
A lot more.
So that's what people don't, people really need to understand. Like, it costs a lot more not to plan than to plan.